Good to see you this morning, Mark. Coming in, despite the typhoon warnings we have outside, it looks like it was a pretty good 6 months for you. Again, the new business margins, that was pretty spectacular. I'm going to say widening 2.3 percentage points. How did you manage to do that?
Well, I think the results right across the board, both in terms of profit and loss and balance sheet, were immensely strong. So I think when you look at the main statistic for us, the main measure is value of new business, and that was up 32%. And then for the underlying profit of net profit, 24%, margins expanded. I think it was just a clear focus on delivery of the strategy that we set out and we spoke about previously.
That's right, we have spoken about that previously, and also we talked about your dividend as well. So you've announced that, AIA, in terms of the interim dividend to equal about a third of your full year payout. So that's pretty strong. I guess that should make investors happy.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much in line with consensus, and I think the focus for us is very much on growth. With profitable growth is where we're putting the emphasis and where we're putting all the energy.
Yeah, but what about the sustainability of this dividend? Some are saying, you decided to pay out all of your EPS in the 6 months in dividend this time. What about sustainability of the ratio going forward? Can investors expect this sort of payout all the time?
Yeah, I think what we said is that the dividend is sustainable, it's progressive, it's prudent. Given that the fact we can pay this out of cash flows, we are very confident this will continue going forward.
What about new policies? I think that also showed up as well. The first half of value of new business rising about 32%. We were talking about new policies and your policy growth lagging behind competitors in the Asia Pac. Does that continue to be the case?
No, I'm not sure we've ever lagged behind, but I think we've certainly put ourselves significantly back on the map again, and I think we're looking for leadership positions right across the market. I think we are the biggest pan-Asian insurer, and we intend to remain that way.
I want to talk to you about global headwinds right now, because you mentioned sovereign debt and the banking sector stability in the U.S. and Europe is, quote, in your terms, a key concern. In what sense for AIA?
Well, it's not a key concern. I think what we are very confident on is Asia. I think the drivers for Asia, whether it's the economic growth, whether it's the significantly less leverage than Europe and the US, both in family and in corporate terms, the fiscal position is much stronger, rising incomes, etc. I think we're very confident in Asia. I think we're conscious of what is happening in the world, but I think we think the economic drivers, and you add on top of that the demographic drivers.
Yeah, AIA is an Asian business,
Absolutely.
right? But okay, the business of insurance is to basically you get money, to get cash from these policies, and then you invest it into other streams, such as maybe the stock markets. You, as a CEO of AIA, do you care about what's happening in Washington right now?
Of course I care. I think as a global citizen I care. Clearly what's happening in Washington. Does it affect AIA's business in a significant way? No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. What about the volatility, instability, some would say, in Europe with the sovereign debt crisis? Does that have any impact?
Again, no. I think particularly because our focus is on protection, is on the protection gap between what people have in terms of their life coverage, their accident and health coverage, and what they need. And that is not dependent on the stock markets. That's really... that's dependent on sort of, again, lifestyle choices.
Do you have any typhoon policies I should take out, just in case for the
We can definitely talk about that.
We'll talk about that later. Mark, you said when you took this job, this was one of your last challenges. In fact, this was the last challenge. You've been, CEO of Prudential, another huge insurance firm. What about AIA? Is it end near, I guess, for you at the helm of this company? Have you done your job?
It's a great company. I think I've celebrated 1 year and 1 week in the job. It's a phenomenal company. The history of the company, the legacy, the brand, the financial strength, the agency, the quality of the agents here in Hong Kong and right across the region, the relationships that we have, all of those different aspects are incredibly strong. And I think what is most exciting is the potential. I think we are just beginning on a journey which is just 1 year old, which is very exciting.
There have been management shuffles at AIA since you've taken over, since the company has listed. Is that done for now?
Well, I think it's a continual basis of looking. We want the best people, we want the best team. This is just a continual effort in that direction. So I think it's never done in one sense. We want the best people, and I think people now want to really join AIA because they can see an enormously exciting future.
Yeah, and when I talk about succession at 53, I'm not calling you old by any means at all, Mark, but people want to know what happens when Mr. Tucker retires from AIA. I mean, who's going to be able to keep up the progression and the earnings growth that you've highlighted?
We've got a phenomenal team of people, and I think part of my job is to be able to give the board a choice of succession at the time that I go. But I think I have no immediate plans to do that, Susan. As much as you are trying to pension me off, there's no plans for that at the moment.
Okay, Mark, before I let you go, we talked about acquisitions before. You're talking about organic growth, of course, for AIA, but I'm going to hold you to it because you have said in the past that there have been inorganic targets for AIA. Considering you're sitting on so much cash, are there any targets in sight for you that look interesting?
The focus, I think, as we said before, is organic growth. That's really where we put our energy and our efforts. If there are tactical opportunities, if there are bolt-on opportunities, if they make good financial sense, then we'll look at them. We have the capacity to look at them, but we've got to be incredibly disciplined in how we do that.
All right, Mark, thanks again for dropping by. Good to see you, and congrats on the results. Mark Tucker, CEO of AIA.